This episode of the Small Business Conversations podcast is sponsored by Nedbank Small Business Services.
This is Small Business Conversations with Akona Machoba, unlocking essential advice, opinions, and key issues that affect South Africa's small business community.
Welcome to yet another edition of the Small Business Conversations podcast. I am your host, Akona Machoba. Thank you for choosing this weekly SME show as your preferred platform to delve into the issues affecting South Africa's small business environment. Today on the podcast, I am in conversation with Strati Zitinelis. He is the co-owner of Hope Sonic, a toy manufacturing company based in the Western Cape. Now, Hope Sonic manufactures affordable plastic toys from mostly recycled materials. And in fact, they have just released a new offering to the market called the Kasi Cruiser. It is a ride-on kids scooter suitable for children between the ages of 3 and 10 years old. The company has a long-standing relationship with Africa's largest retailer, the Shoprite Group, manufacturing toys for both Shoprite and Checkers. In fact, Hope Sonic won the Shoprite Group's Supplier of the Year award in the general merchandise and furniture category this year. Welcome to the podcast, Strati. Thank you so much for your time.
It's lovely to be here.
So tell me, how does it feel to be recognized as one of the top suppliers by one of the country's, actually the continent's leading retailer? What was that feeling like?
I must say we're very proud of that. It's not just us, but our whole team. We've put in many years with ShopRite, and to be recognized like this was a wonderful feeling.
I'm sure it was. And can you speak to us just about how Hope Sonic came to be? I mean, what about the toy manufacturing sector made it such an attractive business venture for you and your co-owners?
We started importing toys actually in about 2004, where we were just wholesalers. And over the following 9 years, we were able to grow the company, but competition was very tough in the industry. It's very strong. So we sat down, we did some brainstorming, and we thought to ourselves, what is it that kids really want? And our best-selling items were always the biggest items at the lowest price, like a big car, but without too many bells and whistles on it so that it was lower in price. So the problem there is when you're importing large items, the cost for that is very high because of the transport. So we figured, why not skip the importing? Let's see if we can make it ourselves. And in South Africa, what's bigger and better than a ride-on scooter? In about 2013, that's when we started. We started with our classic black scooter, which is made from recycled material, as you mentioned. And back then it was retailing for 99 Rand. 10 years later, you can walk into a ShopRite today and you can get one for just 169. And there's not many toys that you can get at that price nowadays.
I think that's quite interesting that you mentioned that you guys started off as importers, but now you have a manufacturing plant in Blackheath, Cape Town, if I remember correctly. Speak to me about that transition from importing to manufacturing. What was that adjustment process like, and what went into that transition to ensure that you guys are still able to deliver quality products to your retailers and partners?
It wasn't easy because we didn't have too much experience, but we started really small. Like I said, we started with just one scooter, and we were in business for about 4 months, learning what we were doing, perfecting the systems, getting the products right, before ShopRite actually came on board. So luckily we had that learning phase, and we learn every day. That's part of our philosophy really, is to be better than we were the day before. And 10 years in, and we're still constantly learning, still constantly making adjustments, constantly making the production line more efficient, saving where we can, passing it on to the customers.
I'm sure that transition from being a wholesaler to now manufacturing, having all that responsibility, was a very challenging one. I mean, now you have, I think, a staff complement of over 100 that is now looking to you with the entire system that you guys work with. What was that transition like? I mean, going from a wholesaler, I don't think you would have as many responsibilities, correct me if I'm wrong, than being a manufacturer where everything is looking to you. I mean, we have such a lot of things happening now in our current environment, load shedding being one of the key challenges that I can think of. What has the responsibility change been like?
100% correct. When we were just wholesaling, there was very few staff involved and it wasn't so much responsibility. But then again, it is someone's livelihood and they are relying on you. So whether it's 2 people or 130 people, you still have to do your bit and make sure that they are all taken care of. Like I said, we started small and we grew into it. We weren't 130 people off the bat. We were, I think, about 8 in the beginning. And then luckily through ShopRite Checkers, who've been very supportive to us through all these years, we managed to steadily grow and increase. And as we increase our ranges, we increase the amount of people we can employ. And like I say, they've been very good to us, and they have literally aided us to get where we are today. So we haven't had to take any crazy risks. I'm a very cautious person, so we haven't tried to run before we could walk. We like to just take it easy and do our natural progression.
So Hope Sonic just released the Kasi Cruiser ride-on bike, like I mentioned. I'm wondering, how many toy ranges do you guys currently have now under your belt since starting?
Okay, we started with the one scooter in 2013. We introduced our second one in 2014. We currently do 9 scooters with the ShopRite group, and we do another 20 products with them as well, which is kitchen sets, tea sets, building blocks, trucks, beach buckets and spades, that kind of stuff.
And obviously now we're heading into the Christmas shopping season, so parents will be looking out for gifts for their little ones. And I'm just wondering, what is the best-selling item now? Is it the scooters? I think some parents might not be a fan of that, but is that your best-selling product at the moment?
Our trucks is actually our best-selling product.
Oh, okay.
But our scooters is actually doing really well. We are so proud of our new ones this year, which is the Kasi Cruiser, as you mentioned. But that came about 2 months after we launched the 6060 bike for Checkers. It's basically the same bike, whereas the Checkers one is in Checkers colors, the Kasi Cruiser is in ShopRite colors. Okay. It's a little bit cheaper as it's more recycled material in the Kasi Cruiser.
And then let's touch on the recycling part of it. How does it work with Hope Sonic and sourcing those recyclable materials? How do you go about finding them? Do you have a partner that brings in these materials for you? Can you please just explain for us what that process is like?
A lot of our recycled material is from our own factory. When we make something, there's always leftover plastics that we then recycle and use that. But we also do buy in recycled material from local recyclers as well.
Just paint a picture of us on how much material it would take maybe to make a Kasi Cruiser, just to paint us a picture of the volumes that you guys take in.
The volumes is quite substantial. We buy in about 30 tons a month of plastic material. The majority of which is recycled. And a Kasi Cruiser uses probably about 3 kilograms, 2.5 to 3 kilograms of material.
That is quite substantial. And the motivation to stick to recycling, we know that the world is going in a different direction. We're trying to be sustainable and making those choices that will help us in the future. What was the motivation on your guys' behalf in going this route?
Yes, it's multiple. Of course, the environment is something we all care about and we need to look after. The more recycling material we can use, that means the less waste goes into landfills, less pollution in the streets. It actually saves natural energy resources required to make plastic. So there's all of those savings. Plus, as mentioned, we get to recycle our own material, which also is a cost saving. So reducing costs is one of our main focus at Hope Sonic, so that we can keep our price increases to a minimum every year. I think we far beat inflation on the low side in the last 10 years.
And Strati, we mentioned earlier with regards to load shedding and the impact it might have on small businesses. We've covered it quite a bit here on the show, and we've seen how it has affected different businesses in different ways. How has Hope Sonic's experience been like with the power cuts? How are you guys handling that?
Unfortunately, yes, we did have to get generators involved, and we do spend quite a lot of money on diesel. Luckily, we also have on our one roof that allows it quite a lot of solar panels, so that helps a little bit as well. But yeah, there's no getting away from using a generator, unfortunately. So yes, that does add a little bit to the cost, but we are hoping that once this load shedding electricity crisis starts abating in the hopefully near future, we will be able to pass those savings back on to our customers as well.
And what is your forecast looking like for 2024? Are you guys set for the probability of load shedding continuing now, or is there any plans to further beef up your backup generation systems?
No, we set. We currently have enough power to keep our factory going. In fact, my partner attended a meeting just this week with regards load curtailment or electricity consumption curtailment for the Blackheath area. So going forward, hopefully that will be less load shedding for us to experience and, pass on the savings.
And then with regards to your operations, is everything fully done in South Africa of your manufacturing process?
Yes, everything is done here. Everything is done within our factory. All the plastic is manufactured here. All the toys are manufactured here. And then the header cards and the little tags and the stickers and those things are all made by local Cape Town suppliers.
Well, that's lovely to know then that you will not be affected by those issues at our ports currently that a lot of businesses have complained about. So then with that, I'm assuming that you're all set for the festive Christmas shopping period.
We are all set for Christmas shopping. Being the manufacturers/wholesalers, most of our orders are already out for the year. So our work is actually done. And we start planning for 2024 already.
Well, that's lovely to hear. Strati Zitanalius, the co-owner of Hope Sonic, a toy manufacturer in Cape Town, telling us there about their business, what they do there, and their prospects for 2024. Thank you so much for your time, Strati.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, Akona.
This episode of the Small Business Conversations podcast was sponsored by Nedbank Small Business Services. If you enjoyed this episode, please download the Small Business Conversations podcast on all digital platforms and don't forget to share our episodes. If you want to contribute to the conversation, you can X me at Machoba_A or you can email us at smepodcast@moneyweb.co.za to share your thoughts and suggestions for future conversations. Until next time, goodbye and do not forget to support a small business near you. Matter of fact, perhaps buy a Hope Sonic toy for a little one this Christmas.
You've been listening to Small Business Conversations with Akona Machoba. To listen to more Moneyweb podcasts, go to moneyweb.co.za, the Moneyweb app, or your favorite podcast platforms. Moneyweb, your trusted source for business and investment insights.